It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019 100.5, 1450 WGNSSports.com and Big G TV.
The Coach's Show is brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, Alex Williams, Ron Reeves, and my boy Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Danny Brewer back with you. You know, it's one of those great mornings because now we get to talk to Adam Jones of Stewarts Creek High School, leader of the Red Hawks. Coach Jones, how are you?
How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great, man. You know, I was at the game last night. Didn't get to exchange pleasantries with you, but what a fantastic atmosphere and what a fantastic game.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, that game's always, the energy's really, really high, no matter what's on the line, everything like that. But it was a fun game. It was a little sloppy on our end throughout the second half at times, but the kids figured out a way to finally get it done at least.
Well, you know, ebbs and flows, and that was one of the things that made it exciting. You know, from a casual fan's standpoint, you know, like myself, when you're there, you know, you want to see good competition, which there was plenty of that, and you know, and the back and forthness and all that kind of stuff, and the crowd. You know, it was a big crowd and a loud crowd, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah, it was, and last time was kind of a game of runs, which, you know, keeps the crowd into it for one side or the other. But I mean, it was Smyrna's senior night, and you know, their students showed up, our students came. It's always a good crowd, and the fun part is we get to do it again next Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you know, that was kind of one of the cool things was seeing the student turnout, because obviously the old codgers like me and that show up, that's great. But when you see the students there and they've got their chants going back and forth, and you're absolutely right with the runs, because at one time the Stewarts Creek students are getting real rowdy, and then a few minutes later it's the Smyrna students, and went back and forth. So really a fun game.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it was, you know, we already knew we were going to play each other next Saturday. So I mean, Omar can probably attest to this too, Coach Smith. But we kind of just went out there and let them play a little bit, just because we know who we're playing again next Saturday. We don't want to, you know, we've got anything new playing. We don't really want to throw it out there, but that turned it into kind of a sloppy game for us at the end. But I mean, our kids did figure it out. But that's stuff we got to work on in the game situations.
Absolutely. You know, but I want to talk about a kid that I thought really played well last night in many facets, London Nelson. I know he had 23 points, but defensively, man, the kid, he had 2 or 3 big blocks, and, you know, his ball handling, and I mean, it really showed out last night. I'm really impressed with that kid.
Yeah, he played really well last night, and he's got the energy, he's got the effort. You know, when he wants to do it 32 minutes, he is a big problem, because we ask him to guard usually either second or first best player on the other team. Then we ask him to score a lot every night. You know, his 3-point percentage has gone up. He's worked hard on that. He's unbelievably quick. He's a good, well-rounded player. And if he dials in and plays for 32 minutes, he's one of the best we have.
Yeah, without question, you know, that's one of the things. Impressed by his ability to get to the hoop. The kid is lightning quick.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, we have yet to meet a defender that can stay in front of him. You know, now it's just what's he going to do after he gets past him? You know, we need to go finish, make the right play, which he usually does. But he's like a little water bug. That is tough. But he can also sit down and guard. You know, he's not the biggest kid in the world, but he plays a little bit bigger than he is, and he's a lot stronger than he looks.
Oh, he does play bigger than what he is on defense, no doubt, because I know he had 2 or 3 blocks against Matthews, who's like 2 or 3 inches taller than he is, but he had a couple of really, really nice blocks on him. And his outside shot, he made a couple of threes, and so I know that Coach Austin Moore has probably been working with him on that outside shot.
Oh, well, yeah, 100%. You know, we give Coach Moore all the credit for every made three. You know, I'll take credit for all the misses. That's just what he does.
Yeah, all right. So let's talk about another one of your horses who also had a very nice game. This kid is maybe the best player all around in the region, Sean Goggins. I'm always impressed with that kid, with what he does offensively, blocking shots, rebounding. Talk about Sean Goggins a little bit.
Yeah, we ask a lot out of him too. I mean, he's one of our bigger kids, but he's not a post player, truly. Now he can post up and face up a little bit, but he's more of a perimeter guy that can stretch you out and shoot, get to the rim. He's kind of got an old man game. He's not crazy fast, but sneaky athletic vertically wise, and he just kind of gets to his spot. And then obviously being one of our bigger guys, some nights he has to guard a post, and we ask him to do a lot of rebound and all that sort of stuff. He helps us tremendously when he's out there, and it makes me a way better coach when he's playing.
No doubt about that. Which you're a pretty good coach with or without him. But I'm going to say this. It's interesting you said the old man, because that was exactly how I described him, because I had some guys that I knew that were there, and they were asking me about some of how's this game going to go? And I said, well, so you see that kid in the warm-up? I said, you see that kid right there? He's got an old man game, but he's really, really good. And so it's so interesting that's how we both analyze him. Talk a little bit about Jerry Taylor and what he does for the team, because he had a good game, I think double figures last night, but he's one of those kids that does it all, right? Offense, defense, rebounding, ball handling.
100%. He is basically our glue guy. Now, when Jerry can get in double figures, even better. We're tough to beat, but we don't ask him too much. But you see, he's a quick kid. If he can get out in transition, go score. Let's go score. But he's the main guy. When we look at him at the other team, he's going to be guarding the best player. That's just what we ask of him. That's what he wants to do. So any offensive production we can get out of him is just a plus. And he loves to play hard. He loves to rebound. He just does the little stuff and he keeps us together for sure.
Coach, you had some other kids that come off the bench, so you've got a pretty decent rotation. Talk a little bit about that and the ability to know you don't have a tremendous drop-off when you plug other kids in.
Right. We've got a deep bench. Sometimes I got to do a better job of getting in who we need to get in, but, because we have 10 guys that can play. We have, Nadir Nasir that comes off the bench, another 6'4", kind of a Sean type, not really a back to the basket, but will stretch you out. We have Matt Thornton coming off the bench, who's a guard. He probably takes 2 charges a game. You got Emery Bronze, who's backup point guard to Jalen Segal when he comes off the bench. We've got Dax Howard that comes in that can knock in some shots. Evan Mullins, who's a backup big. We got kids that can play, and that helps us, as we move forward with our depth for sure.
Coach, talk a little bit about the maturity of your team, because one of the things that I was impressed with last night was, even though there's the heat of the game and the competitiveness and all that kind of stuff, everybody seemed to keep their composure.
Yeah, for the most part, Danny, I would say we are an older team, so they've been through it a lot. But we've got to do a better job of game situation and taking good shots. That's kind of what got Smyrna back into it a little. The credit to Smyrna, they didn't quit, but we rushed some shots that were just kind of uncharacteristic, that were not good shots with the lead. But overall, the kids stayed in the moment. But that's something as an older team we gotta address and realize what's a good shot and what's not when we're leading late in the game.
Well, understand that, and I guess whenever I was talking composure, I meant more like nobody got wrapped up. There were no technical fouls,
sure.
No barking, no mouthing, no shoving, none of that kind of stuff. Which there's always that danger when you have such close rivals playing.
Oh, definitely, and we kind of talked about it. We talked about the atmosphere, senior night, like you just go play ball. And the kids are going to chit chat a little bit, which it's fine. It's all harmless as long as they keep it respectful. But as long as we keep our head down and play, they did handle that aspect well of it. But they love the crowd, they love the atmosphere, and if you just keep your head down and don't worry about anything else, you can be really successful.
Coach, talk about what you got coming up this week.
We got Riverdale on Tuesday. That's our last regular season game. That'll be their senior night over there, and then we are on to the district tournament, which will play Smyrna on Saturday. We'll talk about times. I think it might be 5:30. We haven't really put that in concrete yet, but after on Saturday we're off and running the postseason.
So when we talk about the postseason, and you talk about the composure of your team, because like you said, this is the time of year when it all kind of needs to come together. So do you like kind of where you're at heading into the last regular season game and then the district tournament?
Yeah, not bad. We've got to clean up a little bit of stuff like the taking good shots when we're leading, stuff like that with us being an older team, but I like our guys. They all get along. We have, we're a good locker room team that should be ready to go for the postseason. And, as long as we keep competitive and do what we're supposed to do, we should have a chance to win games in the postseason. You never know after that what'll happen.
Coach, I mentioned this with Coach Rutland just previously. The familiarity of it all. You've played all the region teams, the teams you have played all of them during the regular season. Good news, bad news. I mean, I think it will make for an extremely fun region tournament for guys like me as a casual fan.
Yeah, it definitely will, and we have liked to play those teams just so we know each other, and it's going to make it fun for coaches too because we've seen each other, and now how are we going to game plan? Everyone's going to have something up their sleeve because we're used to each other, and it's going to be tough. Who has the best game plan? Who executes it? And what kids show up that night and go play? Because I think it's pretty much wide open. I think anybody can win this thing in the region for sure.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, and that's one of the things that makes it fun for a guy like me is it is very wide open and will be very competitive.
Yes, it will be, and it makes it fun. It makes it nervous for coaches because one game and it could be done, but you could also get hot and be that team.
Absolutely right, Coach. That's Adam Jones with Stewarts Creek Redhawks doing a fantastic job over there. Keep them rolling, Coach. Keep them flying high. We appreciate your time and certainly wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Danny. I really appreciate it.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day. They've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. If you've been injured, call the law offices of John Day.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the